Stewardship with SNB.
Stewardship with SNB. It's proven.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that quiet, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor needs whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken on my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB, a new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
Stewardship with SNB.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the program Stewardship with SNB from the studios of Rstv here in Port Harcourt. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid. Disenchantment, disillusionment, discouragement, disaffection and disappointment. Everything, this and this is what is written on the faces of Nigerians as they plan a nationwide protest to the streets of Nigeria to ventilate their minds on the hardship that is staring everybody in the face. The price of goods and services have skyrocketed. Nigerians can no longer afford one square meal. Healthcare services are far away from the poor. What can you talk about that is not a problem to our nationhood? This is what we want to talk about as Nigerians plan a protest to the streets of Nigeria on the 1st of August this year. That's 3 days away from now. So joining me in the studio to talk about the state of the nation as it is today are two gentlemen of inestimable value. First is Mr. IGNATIUS CHUKWU, is the regional editor, BUSINESSDAY Media Limited. Mr. CHUKWU, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Solo. Thank you, listeners. It's another day.
Okay. Also with me in the studio is Comrade Tekena Ekpake, is the Chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMA. Comrade Ekpake, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Gentlemen, this is a general question. I've carefully chosen you from your fields of endeavor to do justice to what we're talking about here. Many are of the opinion that Nigeria is a failed state with the prevailing circumstances we found ourselves. IGNATIUS CHUKWU, do you agree?
The public space is a very sensitive place, and if you are an opinion an opinion leader, if you are an influencer, you'll be careful how you choose your words. Saying that Nigeria is a failed state, well, it's dangerous to say it's a failed state.
Is anything working?
But it is facing difficulties. Nigeria is having difficulties, and so Nigeria is having difficulties, we agree. But there are organs that will adjudge you as a failed state if the organs of rule of law are no longer functioning. If people are taking the law into their hands on a full-scale basis. A lot of people were angry in 2023 that they didn't like the election. They say all manner of things. And but when the Supreme Court came out with a verdict, Nigerians agreed. And even some of the candidates accepted or decided to leave it. So it still means that some aspects of the rule of law are still functional. Then we operate a budget and there is a financial system. So it's difficult to say the National Assembly is in operation, the judiciary is in operation, every arm of government is in operation. What we are saying is that they are not functioning optimally. So let's stop there for now.
Okay, so it's not a failed statement that the organs of government are not functioning
optimally.
Okay, that's a very technical way of saying it. Comrade Ekpake, would you say that Nigeria is a failed state?
It's not a failed state. Like you said, the organs are working, they are functional. They just have to do more. Yeah. It's not a failed state yet because as you can see, the government is doing her best towards ensuring that all of these problems are neat in the board. But you know, Nigeria is a complex whole. A country with diverse languages, diverse ethnicities. It is not that easy as any man could think.
All right. Well, Nigeria is a complex country, and it is not as easy as anybody could think. But what the people of Nigeria are asking for is good governance, provision of basic amenities to the people, and that staple food should be made available to the people, and that common foods like gari should be made available to the people. But these are not reachable any longer. So let's get back to the issue of the protest. August 1st, the fear of August 1 is where wisdom begins in Nigeria now. The fear of August 1. So what's your take on the planned protest? Do you think Nigerians are mature enough to organize a protest devoid of tribal, ethnic, regional, and religious sentiments? That's what you could.
Let me give a background before I answer that. During the campaigns 2 years ago and then last year, in my enclave, we have a small group where we discuss and we hold opinion there. So there I said no candidate was capable of running Nigeria. They wanted me to support a particular candidate, and I was saying I love him, but in my position as an opinion holder, I run a Facebook column called Follow Mr. CHUKWU, which I consider very popular. Before I talk about my own column in Business Day called Garden City Business Digest, with my personal column as Port Harcourt by boat. So these are various columns where I am held responsible for what I say. So I am careful what I say, and I'm careful who I endorse. And therefore, I said, nobody is qualified. After the debate, we arrived at something. They said, though they agreed with me that nobody was qualified, but that one person, at least that what was good with that person is that if the person was the one ruling, even if he did not get it right, but that they will believe what he said. If he said that my fellow Nigerians, there's no money, that they will believe him. But the other ones, even if they say, if they meet problem and tell Nigerians that there's problem, that Nigerians will not trust them, I will not believe them. I'm sure from my talk, you understand who I mean. So they said, okay, so the reason they wanted that person to rule is not because he will solve all problems, but that they will believe him for the one that he will not solve. Now we are seeing fuel wahala. Now Nigerians are hearing, while we are battling with subsidy, a new thing has come, and that new thing is what? That those who are causing subsidy removal, that they may probably be behind making fuel unavailable. So you see where trust. There is need for trust between the ruler, the governor, and the governed, the ruler and the ruled. So if you have a system where the ordinary people don't trust those in authority, you see that even when they say the whole truth in their mouth, it will be difficult to believe. And that is why some people who rush to rule, I first ask them, have you connected with the masses? Do they trust you? Do they believe you? If you tell them that, gentlemen, money no deal, or let us increase tax, do they trust you? So where we are now is that distrust and lack of belief in the system is now fueling where people think that if you go for national protest, that will solve your problem. You see, this belief, phase 1, will lead to something that will now bring disbelief part 2. So that's why the issue of going on the street to protest and the issue of fuel subsidy, they are delicate, they are difficult, and Nigerians have a right to protest. But the issue is when we go to that protest, I've been looking for the demands. The demands are almost 17. So at what point? Remember, NSAS said the reason for going on protest was you must abolish SARS, right?
Yes.
I want to ask you, at the end, was it what they fought for? The SARS was abolished before the protest, but they said no, it's no longer NSAS alone, not only SARS. So you see that the purpose for the protest continued to evolve until both the people protesting and the government they were protesting against, you no longer knew at what point the protest was due. That's my problem. You can only start a protest. From students union protest, you can only start a protest. You can only start it. You cannot be the one to decide what will happen. You are not.
Okay, Comrade Baki, why do you think the government is doing everything within its powers to stop the process of the street protest by Nigerians?
If you ask me, it is the duty of the government to do so, because like he earlier said, starting a process is one thing, but how it's going to end you cannot determine. It could go off course entirely to bring about breaking into houses, looting. It can bring about all manner of vices, unexpected vices. So the government should do everything within our power, if you ask me, in my opinion, to stop the protest, because the harm will be more than the good. Yes,
All right, Baki, before I move to CHUKWU,
I wish you would allow me to compliment that.
Okay.
I want to ask you why I fear. In my Facebook page, I went there and did what Nigeria never expected. I wanted to say, count me out of protest. Everybody, those who love me and who trust me, have been bombarded. I want to ask you, those who protested for resource control, when they got into power, did they give you resource control? Those who protested for restructuring, now that they are in power, do we have restructuring again? Be careful with Nigerians when they are making demand. Where we are is that those who shout for something, when they arrive there, when it is not in their hand to do it. So I am very suspicious with the demand. I'm afraid now.
The sinister motive?
I'm not suspecting anything, but after 47 solid years of fully running around Nigerians, following them and writing what they said, I have become very, very suspicious.
So are you suspecting that that's a sinister motive?
I'm saying that it is too complex. But Nigerians have a right to protest. They have a right to air their view. They even have a right to gather at designated places. But my problem is that often it is not that peaceful protest. Number one, I will tell you, Solo, nobody in Nigeria can define what peaceful protest is. Definition of this is peaceful protest. Not you, not me. What I define as peaceful protest may not be what you understand as peaceful protest. So it is dicey. I smell a gathering cloud.
Okay, I'll turn to.
I would just to add, I would advise dialogue the same way the federal government engages the labor. They can keep engaging. They said they have identified some of those people.
The Nigerians are no longer patient with the government, because Nigerians expect that all of these would have even happened before now. They have been waiting. 1 year after the government, Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are hungry. But just to add to what you've just said, you remember that it was when Mr. President, on the day of inauguration, announced the removal of subsidy that all of these economic crises started. You are aware?
Yes.
Let me also remind you that we were assured by Dangote and the Buhari regime that the cost of petrol would dip when Dangote refinery came on stream. Why are we having a spike in price instead? Comrade Baki.
The emergence of Dangote refinery has further reduced the price of AGO, which they are still in production. They have not started PMS as at the last count, and from what I read, that due to fire outbreak or in some arm of the refinery. But I think the moment they start PMS production, and this was one of the things I wanted to say in our earlier conference this week, the government should at least give hand to private refineries to start PMS production. So that because most of the private refineries in the country, they produce only AGO and several other products. They are not producing like PMS. And I'm sure they also have all that it takes to produce the premium motor spirit, which is mostly consumed by the public. So if the modular refineries in town all over the nation start the production of PMS, if they are allowed or given that authority or approvals to start producing PMS, I think it is going to douse this pressure a great deal. Yes, sir.
Okay, but one of the demands of the protest is subsidization of petroleum products. Do you think this is possible from the backing?
When you talk about subsidy, it is relative, because yes, it is subsidized. If it is not subsidized, perhaps by this time we should be buying PMS at a 1,000 or 1,000 plus or more level, but because it is subsidized, and that's the reason why you see that it cannot get that. You think it is soaring. Yes, I agree. It soars when there is scarcity. But if there is no short supply in town, if there is maximum supply, the price stabilizes. Yes. So we all understand that price of petroleum product affects virtually every part of our lives, because movement of goods from one point to the other, you require petroleum product to do that. Every services you want to render within and around town, you require petroleum product to do that. So it affects it directly. But then we want to crave their patience. I want to personally ask that they are still a bit patient. The government,
the Nigerian people?
Yes, sir.
Maybe they have been too patient and the Nigerian government is not listening or something. They have been patient from the word go, when the president took oath of office, the first month, second month, the 6th month, and then the 12th month. We are counting the second year now. So how patient can the Nigerian people be? And that's why they want to go to the streets to ventilate their minds. But let me talk to
let me digress a little bit, sir. Who is the government? The government is you and I. Even though there are people at the helms of affairs, managing the affairs of the government. But I can tell you this for free, that when something like this is happening, you have to also look inwards, because more often than not, it is the same people that are shouting, crying foul, that are the same cause of these problems. Because I want to protest, I must come from a local government. I want to protest, I must come from a state. I want to protest, I must come from a region. What is my input towards making that state, that local government, that region a better one than it is today? That is one major question we should ask ourselves as a people, and not to resort to this thing that we think is a quick solution. We all understand how painful it is. Like you said, the rich also cry. But then, it is, for me, where Nigeria is now, the level she is now is not the best time for a protest, because it will be like adding insult to injury, sir.
Okay. So,
I don't know what time I would have loved to bring us up to speed of how we arrived at where we are. If you say so.
Well, go on, let me listen.
Okay, it is important for us to know why we are here. Number one, it is difficult to say the right time to do protest. I don't know the right time to do protest, which means protest is a reaction, not something scheduled. But let me leave that one.
Reaction to deprivation.
Yes, it's a reaction. So you cannot be pinching baby and you also tell baby not to cry. So the two can't go. So but let me leave it. Let me come to why we are where we are. We were on our own. When petroleum, the government was battling it. we have forgotten that petroleum subsidy was supposed to be removed in 2012, January 2012. Subsidy to be removed. The problem in this country is that we don't look at a right policy, we look at who is bringing it. Because subsidy removal was being proposed by a wrong man, they engineered everybody in Nigeria to come out and protest and make trouble until he removed subsidy. So 2012 to 2013, 2023, 11 years after, the same people who mobilized for that, for the protest, now suddenly remember that the subsidy needed to be removed. So it was removed. So imagine if subsidy was removed in 2012 and the refineries had been rebuilt and both private and public refineries had worked, we had done our mistakes, corrected our mistakes, learned our lessons. By 2023, probably subsidy will not be an issue. That's one. Now look at it. When subsidy was removed in 2023, May 2023, subsidy in forex, in foreign exchange, dollar subsidy was also removed with the same, in the same statement. So fuel will be rising, dollar will be rising. So if the president will not, when the president want to control fuel oil, the dollar oil will overtake it. What is causing constant rise is not inflation. What is causing constant rise in fuel is not subsidy removal. It is dollar matter. Okay. So since they are importing it, as they import with a higher dollar, fuel with another one we add, it becomes difficult for the president to handle. So as we are begging the president has been fighting it through the central bank, fighting inflation. When they call me, I say you cannot control that inflation except you control what caused the inflation.
The dollarization.
Yeah. So it is, as we are there trying to sympathize with the government, try to understand with the government that let us see what they can do, thinking that as soon as Dangote comes into the market, then we were hoping that the Dangote local fuel, because he has the capacity for 650,000 barrels per day. So if they refine when our consumption we hear is about 400,000, 350,000 or whatever thousand. So if they refine 650 in Nigeria and supply it local fuel, which does not have dollar input, we were hoping that it will come down, even though it will not come down as low as it was in 2023. Suddenly, what we are now hearing is war has developed, distrust has developed, policy somersault has started. One, that they cannot, should not, do not. So what I've been preaching is that this quarrel between Dangote and the federal government and the refinery and the NPC, the more they quarrel, the more we ordinary people who don't understand will begin to understand what we are not supposed to understand, which is to say, Nigerians are beginning to think, oh, as we are suffering under importation of fuel, we are hearing that some people have refineries outside Nigeria and they want to favor those refineries. So at the moment Nigerians now, if you say to go and negotiate what? We are saying the confidence in the refining system has been broken. We are now saying, oh, could it be the reason why the government-owned refineries will never be allowed to work? We were thinking that private refinery will come and do what government refinery will not do. Then suddenly, we are not seeing deliberate efforts to make sure that private refinery will not pump out fuel. If that be the case, what is our fate? Will we depend? Foreign fuel cannot save us. We will sink. Based on that, anybody who wants to allow and make Nigerians to reduce the tension now, let them and the Dangote refinery or the private refineries. You are talking about a modular. I have been part of the campaign for modular refinery. When we were there, when Osimbajo came to Port Harcourt and asked all the Nigerian people to come together, form groups and apply. I have been part of them. We have been pursuing this. I have been pursuing the license for the Niger Delta ex-militants to begin to produce. They have also gathered all the bunkering groups, so that if they gave them 18 licenses, they approved the 18 licenses 3 years ago. Every day they have been going. They were begging until Buhari left. They started begging to them. Give them the license. Their sponsors who will help them to refine are abroad. give them license, they will now stop breaking pipes. So as long as you're not giving them the license, and then don't tell them that is coming by miracle, we also find 20 reasons why it should not operate. Every day they say the place caught fire, tomorrow they say that this will happen, and the man going to say it's not true. I am ready to refine.
So bunker will continue.
So the bunkering people who are saying give us license, let's stop, you make sure that they are own. So what are who is really sponsoring this protest? When you fail to sort out the modern refinery, the 18 licenses promised to the YEAC group, who had a foreign partner, the 18 licenses to be in the Niger Delta, shared along the states. So if all those things are being hampered, I'm saying, where is the confidence? What is fueling inflation and the difficulty is subsidy and the dollar. And there is a solution for subsidy alone that we are seeing. Resolve it. Let's see how much fuel will now be when there is local refining. Let's see the real price of fuel. Imported fuel cannot give us the real price. Let's produce in Nigeria. Let's see what fuel will be. Even if it is any amount, we will buy it. Know that it is only Naira. There's no dollar input into it.
All right, Comrade Baki, you heard it. But let me just leave you to have your own opinion. Why is the cost of petrol so important to Nigerian economy? Why are people not talking about housing, transportation, healthcare, electricity bills, etc., as much as they do about petrol?
When you talk about people not talking about every other problems but focusing on the price of petrol, is because it plays a vital role and it cuts across every other problems put together. Without the petrol, even you cannot function optimally. How do you go to the market? How do your wife go to the market? How do you move from your station to Wazobia station, for instance? You can't be mobile. You cannot do anything. Because the price of petrol is high, it would affect every other sector.
So what should the government do at a time like this? Because that's why Nigerians want to go to the streets. It is the price of petrol that's affected the economy so badly. So what should the government do? The government is only trying to stop these protesters from going to the streets.
In my opinion,
they have not proffered a lasting solution to the problem.
There are solutions if there is willingness. Yes, there are solutions if there is willingness. Because
willingness on the part of
the government.
Okay, name them.
Yes. If our refineries are working, these problems are a thing of the past. The government is doing everything she can do on her own. What about the people that the government has assigned to carry out certain functions towards making sure that these refineries would work? Are they doing what they are supposed to do? Where does the problem lie? If they have challenges, they could come public. Sometimes people would give that support towards making sure certain things are resolved. And because like the Port Harcourt refinery, she's a mother refinery. This refinery serves Kaduna and other refineries. Yes, so if this refinery is working, I bet you she is like a fulcrum point to every other government-owned refineries. But till this moment, the refinery is coming up today, she's coming up tomorrow, she's coming up now. The latest promise is she's coming up by next month, and we are all hopeful. If our brothers now go on protest, they will say it's because of the protest. Yes, if the protest commences on 1st August, as they
so there is trust deficit between the government and the government, and this is why the governed are now planning a protest to the streets to, publicly demand for these basic needs of life from the government, since they are refusing to provide them. But both of you here have not supported this issue of protest, and it baffles the minds of our viewers when we open telephone lines, you hear them talk about it. But that's not all. We'll just take a short break, and when we return, we'll talk about the rift between the NNPCL and that of Dangote Oil. Stay with us.
Stewardship with SNB.
Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that point, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor leads, whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken for my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB. A new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
Stewardship with SNB.
Following the planned nationwide protest, the Federal Capital Territory Administration is organizing this town hall with critical stakeholders. One after the other, representatives of various groups speak on the state of the nation.
We are saying no to protest. Dialogue is the answer of everything.
Yes. Our youth, they need something doing. You cannot just keep them like that and say they should calm down, calm down. If they don't have something doing, we are just beating around the bush.
The bottleneck of all these issues is our youth. Let us guide them, find a way on how we can engage them.
We say no to the national protest that is about to happen. Nevertheless, sir, the youth need empowerment.
The traditional rulers in the FCT, the 17 of us, we have interacted amongst ourselves. So we have sensitized our people of the need for our youth not to come out at all these days that are being earmarked for this unrest.
However, the FCT administration gives them reasons not to join the planned protest.
I'm just looking on social media. They have applied to me to grant the Ego Square. Do you apply to me through social media? You write a letter to the minister. I will see you. Who are you? What do you want to do? How many days do you want to spend? How much will you pay? When you dialogue, people will take correction. And that is Mr. President for you. He has never told you that he will not make a mistake. He's human. But what's important, when you call his attention, that is a mistake made, he has that penchant to correcting such a mistake. So please let nobody bother to go and carry placard or whatever to go on the streets.
We don't want any protest in our city. We are peaceful. We have been doing well. So I think we need the support of all the stakeholders that are here for us to continue enjoying the peace in FCT and the nation at large.
The FCT administration further commits to addressing the complaints raised by the stakeholders, promising to improve the living conditions of residents in the FCT. From Abuja, Kumbi Aboluwade, Channels Television News.
Stewardship with SNB.
Well, that's it. Nigerians are divided over whether they should go on protest or not. We heard the FCT minister and, of course, other stakeholders speak in that clip. Some are supporting the protesters and others are against them. Just as my studio guests are all not speaking in favor of the protest, and that there may be underlying reasons why some of them are itching to go to the streets, and it may have some ethnic, religious, or whatever coloration, and may also not go down well with the generality of the people. I'm still with Mr. CHUKWU, is the regional editor, BUSINESSDAY Media Limited, and also Comrade Tekenai Baki, Chairman, Independent Petroleum Markets Association of Nigeria. He's a player in the oil and gas sector. Gentlemen, welcome again to the second segment of the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, on this segment, we'll take your calls because I know you've been watching and itching to also make your contributions. And so telephone lines will be displayed on your TV set. Control room will assist us. Let's have the telephone line or TV set so our viewer can take advantage of it. But let me quickly advise that for you to have a smooth conversation with us, do well to turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from your TV set so that there will be no callback. Please, I can see the first caller here. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to our program. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, my name is Chief Victor as my host.
Okay, Chubike. Hello, Chubike. Oh, you lost him. Oh dear. Please do well to call us back. Your voice is full of life and you want to say something. Please do well to call us back. Please, please, please. We're so sorry. The network provider disconnected you. All right, so let's continue. Gentlemen, we're talking about Dangote oil. Some say Dangote has enjoyed enough government patronage and monopoly and should therefore stop throwing tantrums like a small child. The use of that view.
Well, I don't know. I don't deal with general statements because in every sector you have to stipulate what you mean. In the area of fuel or refinery, I have been saying that I hope we remember that Obasanjo approved 20 licenses far before Jonathan approved about 5, one of which was Dangote oil. So why didn't those other 20 that was approved many years before Dangote license came? So why didn't they build? Why didn't they grab the monopoly? So Dangote was not in the field when they got license, and they were still there until Dangote got license many years later and built to become their problem. So I'm very careful as an economic analyst. I'm very careful with the general statement saying on this particular issue. If Dangote doesn't refine, we are suffering because there's no local fuel. So it's important.
All right, I'm getting signals I should just go on a quick break and then we'll return back to you for more analytical discussions.
Stewardship with SNB.
Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that quiet, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor meets, whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken for my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB, a new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
Stewardship with SNB.
Welcome back everyone to the program Stewardship with SNB. This program is viewed all over the world via our social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online, and also we're also on GoTV channel 142 and StarTimes channel 113. All of these platforms you can connect to us and then enjoy our conversation. Let's be taking call from our viewer. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Chris. I'm calling from
Okay, Chris, welcome to our program.
Yes, thank you very much for the topical issue that you just raised. I was saying that to the gentleman.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I have a challenge with the government trying by all means to stop it. Instead of trying to stop it, why don't you attend to the issues? Mr. Chukwu talked about trust. We don't trust the system. We need a lot of angels. We should be able to have 40% of trust so that we can run with them. But we can't secure 20% of trust with these persons in authority. And if you don't have to hold on, hold on till then, we will sit now that they are intending to attend to us. Now, as a youth, you are in the oil sector, and you are giving me a certificate or you're proposing to give me a certificate. You never give me as a modular refinery president. It is not a national refinery. This is a private individual that land excavated in land. They want a world-class refinery as an individual. Then what are we talking about? And then Mr. Secretary has told us right now that they are set to get it next month. How can we continue to trust such systems? So when you look at that, you can hear my voice now. You can take my voice things. I can do it. That's why people climb from high places and go, I will express my view and die.
Oh no,
the system is becoming so frustrated that we can trust the people.
Just my choice of diction.
No, we are hearing.
We do not encourage people committing suicide.
And yes, I can tell you, I will die. But I'm expressing myself. No, that modern economy is common. And certain person in the Niger Delta has been in this business without the national help, trying to cover. The problem them through Sibato to help them cover. You never did that, and what single individual is out with a mega refinery. And you say we should trust you. And we want to do it to ourselves. And now you put the one that came up with the refinery, you want people to get that we give it good, to refine. So that's what they do. And the children are hungry. You have to go. No job. And you don't keep holding. You know corruption cannot stop. It's the question can trust everybody can take the person. So everybody is looking for a way to survive.
Alright.
No one wants to be corrupt. No one wants to be corrupt.
Just take it easy. I know you're angry. Just take it easy so that we can have. Thank you. I know.
Please, and whatever you can, do people who talk to us. Do talk to the government. Do talk to the main men. Let them start taking action. Not talking grammar. The fact that Nigerians have already educated. We can do the inspection. We see how they behave. We see how they take on.
I know. Thank you.
We see
Thank
what they for granted. I'm like, what is that?
I can see emotion.
It did not end well because they decided to stop us by their own way.
Alright, thank you. I can see, let me just disconnect him. He's very passionate about it. And there's outburst of emotions because everybody is being affected. Like I said, even the rich is affected, even though they may be pretending. The economy is biting hard on everybody. And so we will appeal to listeners who will be calling in to please be careful with their choice of diction. Nobody will die. Nobody will climb up to the tree or up there and leave his hands to fall down to die. Please, we would encourage that. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, Peter. All right, Peter. Welcome to our program, Peter.
I guess I will do it. Good afternoon.
Thank you, my dear brother.
Thank you. Well, I would like to ask a question. Why must it take our country too long when we have the Dangote refinery here in Nigeria and our country begin to starve them of food? Dangote is settled to bringing food from Brazil. Another country, most recently our hearing, is making negotiation with Libya to bring crude oil from Libya. When Nigeria is regarded as one of the highest petroleum producing nations on earth. And those who are at the head of affairs, why does it take them so long to address this problem? Where is our refinery? Our crude going to? Which countries are they selling our crude to? Where is that cooking? Right here at home. That cooking is ready to buy the crude here. In Nigeria here. And they are taking the crude outside. Our government, there are secrets. Things our government are not telling us. In our country here, there are a lot of secrets within the oil sector which Nigerians are not known. Those who call themselves cabals, they're like what the last caller, you can see that man should be a tired man, the old man. Look at he was even crying. He was even crying. And why must our leaders tell us that this process should not take place? Who is that person that tell us that this process should not take place? Nigeria is least in the whole African region. In terms of everything, we are the least.
Peter?
We are the least. And we are not.
Peter, you have made a point.
Well, let's go. We have all of this to be a great nation.
Point made.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Point made. Yeah, we will continue to bring resource persons like these to talk to our people, to calm frayed nerves, because there seems to be a gap between the government and the governed. We are creating the link now by bringing the persons like CHUKWU and Tekena Ibaki to talk to you, to assuage that lost hope that we see play out. We have another caller here. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. May we meet you, please? Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Samuel.
All right, Samuel. Thank you for joining us.
Not only the self-service is the only matter for Nigeria. Now that we are in a social state, then we go to them, we don't see money to collect. What we want is to buy something to feed ourselves and our family. Not only subsidy, but I is the cost of this Nigeria. Now that the has turned the banner of Nigeria, let's go out and tell them and show them that what they are doing in Nigeria, that it is done good.
All right, thank you.
That's my idea.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your thoughts.
We should respond to this.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, haven't heard the viewer express their thoughts. What do you have to say to them? We need to pacify them because they are angry. Every of the callers, they're angry. You know, there's hunger. You know, staple foods like bread. The other day, the Bakers Association announced to the public that a loaf of bread that used to be sold for about 1,500 naira will now be sold for 2,000 naira. So, even staple food is beyond the reach. Gary, as common as this, is beyond the reach of the common man. So, should we stay here to advocate that Nigerians should not go to the streets to ventilate their minds? People are angry and hungry, and there's no way to express themselves than this way. Perhaps the government may be listening to them. You may have
let me say something. From the as I said on my own Facebook page, I am not against Nigerians going out. I am not stopping them. And say that as a public opinion holder, that I am not joining. My reasons, if I tell them half of my reasons, they will leave their protest and come and help me. I'm not saying it because of love for any government, right? I'm not saying it for the love of any government. I'm saying it that if I add my word, they will not go on the streets. They will keep person. So I don't want to get involved. But that's by the way. That's by the way. But now coming to the callers, one appeal to you to please try and talk to the federal. Say you should not talk to the state because all the things you listed, they say none can be solved from the state. They have appealed to you And that's the sensitivity of the position you occupy. A newsmaker, an opinion, if you are in a position where they think that if they talk to you, it is left for you to know who you will talk to. Yeah. So we thank God for that they even believe that a program like this can help. Okay, the people I'm talking to, my own talk is not to the common person. Because when they go on demonstration, sometimes even if they did not achieve anything, the mere fact, I'm a counselor, some wives will come to me and tell me what their husbands did. After talking to me, when I say I'm going to meet your husband, they will call me a lot and say, I'm forgiving him. That's allowing them to ventilate their mind, their anger. Sometimes it makes somebody to forgive. So stopping them from protesting, stopping them from voicing out may not be the solution, but nobody guarantees what happens when protesters. But let me come back. I am saying the person who say we should talk to them, we are all joining to say, federal government, please, you cannot solve the problem easily, but things that the actions that make our people to think that the federal government is against them is not good. Sort out the issue with Dangote refinery. Let Nigerians see you. If Dangote refinery comes and it does not reduce the price, we will endure. I know say it's not your fault, but stopping it from pumping out fuel will make us think that you don't want us to have cheap fuel. That's one. Two, over the years when PIB was not being passed, every year the investment that we make in Nigeria, because one asked you that how can we be a producer of crude oil and we are importing. My brother, in case you are still listening, yes. Over the years the investments needed in the oil sector to increase our production from 1.4 to 1.8 to 2 million barrels per day to 2.1 to 2.4. Where we are now is that we would have been heading to 3 million barrels per day. OPEC will give us a higher quota to produce. We know fit to produce them. So we are gradually turning from exporter of petroleum to importer of petroleum because of the failure of our governments over the years to increase the. If we were producing 2.4, then we can take 650. This means that we still have plenty one to sell. But the little one that pumping now, if that goes to 650, you say that not much to export and bring dollar. So problems are plenty. This program alone will not solve it. But what we are saying that the lack of trust, government bring trust so that people will believe you. For now, they don't believe. And this quarrel that is coming is making us to say a government refinery is not pumping. The private person who claims he can pump, he can produce fuel, you are making it impossible for him to produce. Now, yes, we now conclude that it is the refinery they say or some people have some in faraway place, that is the one you are protecting. Whether it is true, when you don't create transparency, when you create difficulty for people, they will believe any story they hear, they will believe.
That's okay. All right, Comrade Paki, in your opinion, Dangote's was politically motivated, or there are mere ups and downs of a businessman?
There's a lot of.
But before you take that question, let me hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm a man from Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining us.
I really appreciate the participation.
Okay, please talk into the phone. Talk into the phone, please.
Yeah. And I want to ask, I think the need of our government to be very right in the approach in addressing the challenges of Nigeria. The citizens and the person to go out for protest. And there is every effort to persuade citizens not to protest. So there is little or no effort being made towards government to address the immediate and the hard conditions that citizens are going. All through the media, not parties and ways. The crusade is that citizens should not protest. And there is no crusade that government should arise and handle this immediate issue.
You have made your point.
Action, not political rhetoric and thoughts.
All right, you have made your point. Because of time constraints, we may not continue with this call, but you have made your point. Thank you so much for expressing yourself. Thank you so much. All right, the last question I asked you.
Yes, sir.
Is Dangote's woes politically motivated, or there are mere ups and downs in business?
There's a lot of political undertone in this saga. But my appeal to the government is they should be proactive in the resolution of these problems. One thing certainly they should do is to see how to provide Dangote with the necessary resources as it boils down to the crude for him to refine. If they make provision for him and he comes back with other matters or problems, like my brother said, if he is starved of the products and the resource to importation, he could decide to sell at whatever rate he wants to sell. Is it helpful to the economy? Is it gainful? No. So it should be provided. If we are producers of crude oil, one of the highest producers, and one of our refineries is starved of petroleum products, it's a paradox. So it should be worked upon.
All right. Yes. So, your final words. The fear of August 1 is the beginning of wisdom in Nigeria.
I advise the federal government to make a broadcast. The president should broadcast to the nation. Out of all these demands, what are possible. The national broadcast is expected as soon as possible. If anybody is thinking that if you hold one meeting in one hotel, that you have talked to Nigeria, let me tell you, those, when you call for a meeting, those who attend the meeting are different from those who go on the road. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ignatius CHUKWU, Regional Editor, BUSINESSDAY Media Limited. Thank you so much for your thoughts with us here.
Thank you, my brother.
And Comrade Baki, Chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, 8-man, thank you for your time.
Most welcome. My pleasure.
And from me, I want to believe that this program will sync with the government and, of course, the people. And on August 1 is a day everybody's thinking that Nigerians should go to the streets to protest and ventilate their minds on the hunger and anger that's expressed on the faces of many Nigerians who no longer can complete one square meal, not to talk about 2 or 3. There are a lot of school dropout because parents do not have money to pay their fees. And a whole lot of abnormalities that are happening in this country. 1 year into the CHUKWU volatile administration, Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are hungry. What is the way out? Government, my guest up here said that government should be more proactive than watching from aside to see the people suffer. My name is Solomon Nasser. I'll see you again tomorrow when I'll bring you another guest on this program. For now, it's bye-bye.
Stewardship with SNB.
Stewardship with SNB. It's probing.
You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about?
Beckoning on you occupying that public office to give account of your stewardship.
To be that quiet, he's the executive governor of this state and he's the leader and head of our party.
Politics on the menu.
I don't know what will happen. The governor leads, whatever directive he brings, I will follow.
What about the surprises?
Action that I've accepted to follow will be taken on my witness. I will surprise them.
Watch Stewardship at 12:30 p.m. on weekdays. Stewardship with SNB, a new trajectory to broadcast journalism. Join us.
Stewardship with SNB.